In this episode, I am joined by Axel Aigret, the co-founder and CEO of StorytoDoc, a company that helps product teams automate their documentation process using AI-powered tools. With a background in product development and entrepreneurship, Axel has a deep understanding of the challenges product teams face when it comes to documentation and has developed a solution to address these challenges. Hey, hi Axel. Thanks for joining me on the podcast.
Hi, Visesh, and thank you to interview me.
No, good to have you. We met at Web Summit. I think earlier this year. You were in I believe, an Aristotle costume on the on the floor. I was intrigued by what you guys were doing, and I think you had one of your colleagues as well. You want to tell a little bit about what does StoryDoc do, and why is now the right time for a product like this, and what are you solving for your customers?
Yeah, with pleasure. So just to connect with your story in your Web Summit, I think you see me so all in white, named Aristotle, and I think I had this book here. So, I have this book, okay, on me. And yeah, the story begins because, hey, you see, this is your
Yeah.
dock. So it's empty. And it's
It's
because
empty.
you have an empty dock, okay, that you need us. And I start my pitch like this, and it works really well. Yeah, it worked really well. So what does Story to Doc? It helps a product manager and product team, okay, to test and automate the product, the documentation of their product. So all the success journey path, all the user journey, but to go into success, on your product, we would generate automatically in interactive video. And the good thing is that we can update it, because the real problem of doc is not to create it, the real problem of doc is to update it.
Right.
So where Story2Doc shine really, I think, is that we are able to automate it with AI. Because if your path, if your product change, AI will find back the good way to go in your product and to redo the thing and to reach the same goal.
Interesting. And so you listen to, like, is it like a Git hook, or how do you guys know when the changes are happening?
Yeah, right now we are not plugged directly on the CI/CD, so on GitHub, GitLab, etc. But we will. Right now it's more manual, and people, our customer right now, they tend to redo it. Even if they ship daily, they don't redo all the doc daily. They will do it time to time because we redo everything. So we act as we integrate more in the CI/CD in a way, not automatically, but more in a way, when a developer has finished something, you will capture it manually with our tool, with StorageDoc, just
Right.
to prove to the rest of the team and to the product manager that this thing works. And the product manager can check the video, put comment in it. So it's beta features a comment, but yeah, it's really the goal to be able, as a product team, to work on every product flow that we have. When they did it, they will ship it, and they will add this feature to the doc, so to the product. And the cool thing is that as you did it first manually, but we will transform it to automatically being update every time. So when you will ship another feature, we will redo everything, and you
Mm.
keep on this. You capitalize on what you did previously.
Right. 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 So you
Did it
version
make
it as
sense?
well, and it allows you to move much faster. I mean, I've had this pain in the past where the video was done months ago, and the feature has moved way beyond what the video was shot at. Yeah. Yeah.
Is it
Makes sense.
exactly that, and the pain is too on the QA. I don't know if you did many QA of what you ship, but it's the same.
Yeah.
Create the tickets without context. It's really annoying. It's really complex.
Hmm.
And so the goal here is more, I record the flow and I
Hmm.
try to improve it. And so every developer, all my team say, yeah, it's done. Okay, I redo it. I re-update it, and I will see, if it changed a lot or not. And yeah, to move on this before shipping. And after shipping, the goal is really to know what is the product. So as a product team, first, internally, we need to know what is the product. And to answer this, I think the best way to know this is to have a concrete video on every feature that the user need to use, okay, in order to go from zero to hero in your product. If you
Interesting.
have this, you
That's
can
a nice
share it
way.
internally with everyone you onboard in your team, okay?
Yeah.
product, but not only product. I think everybody need to understand what is the product, and you can share externally too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for big B2B deployments, especially, I think this could be very, very useful. Awesome. So you've not completely transitioned from a services company to a SaaS company yet. How has the transition been so far? And what was the genesis of arriving at StoryDoc?
We still are a SaaS studio. So the SaaS studio is named Hypothetical. It's a product studio, but we call SaaS studio because we do only SaaS, so innovative SaaS. StorytoDoc was born really from our own problem, okay, as a product studio, so agency product studio, and we had always the same problem. So to create and update the doc. And not because customer asked for it at the first time, because at the beginning the product is not too big, so it's okay. But more for us as product team is really good, because we change and in an agency mode, you change from one product to another product, and it's really complex to re-put you in context, And maybe on the product it goes 6 months without something or with a lot of evolution, and the product team don't know everything, don't remember everything. So for this switch of context really fast on many products, I think Doc is really powerful to be able to be efficient, as a product
Mm,
team. And so for the SaaS studio, it was really important to document everything. So I am a little, I am a little on documenting. I document everything in my life. So maybe it's for
mm,
that we did this thing for the SaaS studio. And yeah, so we had this problem on every project, every product. Okay. And we say, yeah, maybe we will use our own tool. So we have product services named SaaS.
mhm,
So it's a product services to help people pass from an idea to a concept of product, a product experience to test on users, okay, and to
mhm,
see if we have some desirability and to see if the pricing business model is okay and validate. So to validate desirability and acceptability of the price. And so we did this. We use our own methodology on yourselves to create Story to Door. So I interview, I think, more than 50 product manager
mm,
from 0 to 600 people. And yeah, they had many, many problems on the dock because nothing is automated
mhm.
and it's not standardized. Okay. Every team try to do it their way
Right,
and it's not standardized at all. Why building Story to Doc? We standardize it.
right. And so these 60 interviews,
Yeah. Not
how did you
16 for 15. 15, excuse me. Yeah. 50.
1 5 or 5
Five.
0? Yeah. Oh, nice. And so for these 50 interviews, how did you recruit these users or early customers? What was the path?
To do this, so what we did is really use my network because I co-animate a product club, okay? Um, and we speak every 2 months of product, tool, and AI, a lot of AI. And so I use this group and I use a lot of my network. And a good thing to do is to ask to everyone that you have interviewed at the end, do you have something on else that I can talk from you? Yeah, if you miss it, you will not have it. But if you do it just at the end, it works really well. I think maybe one time on free, but one time on free is cool.
Yeah. 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 So not in the follow up, but right at the meeting itself, right?
Yeah, yeah. Really at the end of the meeting, thank you. And maybe do you have another product manager friend that you want to connect with me so I can be able, and people tend to have a vision of thing, but they want to put you with another guy, another friend that has maybe another vision to complete. So it's really cool to ask, and it show them too that you are interested in more. No, it's not just selling, it's that yeah, you really want data feedback. And so it proved that you are from the start wanting to research feedback and reality.
Plus, the audience you were trying to kind of address the pain for, they actually understand the product journey. So they understand research is actually needed. Like the
Yeah,
value of interviewing people,
yeah,
they understand that. So
yeah,
that
you're
probably
right
worked
that
for you.
interviewing, you're right. It's a good point and it's a bad point It's a good because they understand. Yeah, it's a good because they understand why you do it. Okay.
Yep.
It's bad because they know what will happen, and so it's a little you know. So you really need to be clear on what is the value of the product. And so for us, this was really our a unique value proposition that helps, and they really want to know more, and they really want to know. I think people want to know two things on a new product, and if you give them, they will not come back after that if it's not please them. So the two thing is it's the price. Clearly, they want to know the price. Everybody not want to know the price, and the first thing is how. So how it works. So the how is really important. And people want to know how you give this value, you know. So yeah, the goal is to do a demo with us, do a journey and interview with us, and then we show you how. Okay. And if you want to do a sales pitch, it's more okay. I show you how, and now I show you the price. It's
Mm,
connected. But if I think it's really the two things that you can trade in some way, okay, to move with your interview.
right. Uh, for the interviews, did you already have the idea, or you went in with a blank slate?
No, we have many problem and many solution, and we want to. At the first, from the interview, we were really exploring the problem space. So we were really at the beginning of. We have many problem detect that we think it's a problem, but we need
Right.
to clearly understand them really well. What is the problem, and to put a name on it, to maybe rewrite it, to be clear on crystal clear on what is the problem. So for me, interview is really this: is how do you do this? Do you have this problem? How do you do
Mm,
this right now? And on a scale on 1 to 5, it is a little or a big problem for you. Can you live with it, or it's insane? You want to find a solution, because you don't want to have a nice to have a solution. You don't want to have a nice to have a problem neighbor.
yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
So you really need to find a problem that people care about, and they want to actively search a solution for it.
Yeah. 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 And so, how
And
has the
difficult,
journey? Sorry.
and it's difficult to find
Yeah, it
a
is.
hard problem.
It is a hard problem for sure. Yeah. I mean, if it were easy to identify pain points, everybody would be an entrepreneur, and you would have, yeah,
Yeah,
because
I think it's a more and on AI. I do a lot. I think we use a lot AI in Story2Doc, and it's really important. I think to understand where AI is not good, and on this right now, it's not so good for empathy. To discover to ask a good question at a good moment. Gaps. It's really complex right now. It will evolve. I think it
of
will be
course,
better and better. But right now, it's complex to do this. I think it will help to do more product research clearly, but not the top of the iceberg, but the down of the iceberg, I think is clearly a human job right now. It will still
yeah,
a human job.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, listening is a skill that you need to get good at when you're interviewing, and then of course following up with the right questions. I think the AI is not there yet for sure. Yeah, yeah. And so you've been building this alongside your SaaS studio. What So, if somebody is looking to explore, somebody who has a SaaS studio is looking to explore to pivot to becoming a product company, what are some of the challenges that you are facing right now when you do that together? And what would you uh, tell people
I
not to do?
think yeah. I think that the challenge, I think, is really to, as we are a product studio, we are not so focused on GTM and sales marketing for the product, a little bit, but not so much. So I think, yeah, something that changed a lot for us is that we had to do everything on the story to docs, product marketing, validation, etc. So more the GTM, and therefore the GTM is really something that is really interesting. It's really complex, and for this reason, I think it's really interesting. And you
Mm,
have many ways to do it in a bad way, and because you need to validate things in order, and you always add some risk, and you need to play with it and minimize them.
mm-hmm,
So yeah, I think it's more the GTM thing that's difficult. So what I will advise for a SaaS studio, product studio agency, is not
mm,
only SaaS studio, it's more agency that want to launch a product. I think it's really work a lot on the positioning and messaging of your product before launching, I think.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it helps a lot to have clearly work on this. Even if we are in private beta right now, we are not public right now. But even for this, just to test it and to use our resources, the maximum and to be really efficient and to not redo the thing,
Mm.
yeah, it helps a lot to do it in the good methodology,
Right.
in the right order.
And so I think we were speaking about this earlier. Positioning changes with every pivot, right? And as you pivot, if the positioning changes too radically, it's almost everything underneath it changes. How important is it to get the positioning right, and what do you think people can do to pivot better in terms of positioning?
I think you're right, but if you change positioning, you change everything. Change your
Right.
marketing, your sales, your motion, etc. So how can we de-risk in a way positioning? It's really bad testing, I think. It's more
Mm.
testing. So what change positioning? If you change market, clearly, if you change
Mm.
ICP and the segment of your market, it will change your positioning and the how you frame your product in which market you are, clearly. So the market and segment is really important. And the end user can too change. So yeah, I think it's really to be able to know and to test this. So to test this, I think it's really where I have the most traction as UVP speak to my audience, okay, and they want to test it. Even if we don't speak about price, we speak interest first.
Mm.
And after that, I can translate interest into value. Is a second step, I think. So for this reason that as GTM, pre-GTM strategy, we can call this like this, when you are not sure of everything. Some products try to, like clockwise, I think, and there are many products that do this. More fun than product normally, but we are bootstrap on our side. What they do is they begin by the free version, and they put this in the end of users, and they see by numbers which persona, which segment, and which ICP stick with the product. So it's more a
Mm.
reverse engineering thing, and it works. It works, but you need some traction, but you need some cash or yeah, some fool to launch the data and to analyze
Right.
the data. Or you can do so it's more qualitative, I think, quantitative, and you can do it qualitative. I think it's cool to have both, but
Mm.
you can start by the qualitative and try to scale it after that and verify that on numbers it stick too.
Right. Right. So iterate faster and iterate as early in the journey as possible to avoid massive rework. Um,
Yeah, I think, and maybe another advice I can say is when you work or when you add to the product and when you do things, try to only do things that where you will win on every segment. Because you have some risk, okay? You didn't finish your test, etc., etc. But you can prioritize things when you win every time. It's better that if you begin to don't ship feature that will be only for one guy if you didn't validate it.
right, right, right,
You
right.
see? So time to time, for StorytoDoc, it was a case. We have things that we know that even if it's not the product manager, there's more the customer success or customer support, everybody will enjoy it. Okay, so we
Right,
do this first.
right, right. So in terms of you are saying if a feature resonates with or is it a feature or a product? Like let me
More feature
clarify.
based, more
So more
feature
feature.
scope. What I say,
More.
yeah, it's more feature scope. It's more you need to while testing,
Hmm.
your product will evolve. And so the bad thing can happen if your product evolve, okay, for one persona, for one ICP, for one segment, and your test say the opposite at the end. So you have to rework a lot because you need to remove many things maybe and add many other things. So when you do test, it's better to, yeah, sorry, go for it.
Yeah. No, I was saying this approach is probably for products that resonate with or that will sell to multiple ICPs, almost like multiple segments. But is that a good idea to build something that will sell to multiple segments? Isn't that a sign you niche down and kind of focus on
You
one
are right.
segment?
You are right, Form. I see where you want to go, and yeah, for me, it's really better to have one product that resonate with one niche, okay, persona. We are agree on that together. But time to time, maybe you have with your product enough value, at some point that you can sell. So you don't need to go down because you have enough value. So it's like yeah, it's better if I go down, but I need maybe to be sure that it's in this way I need to go down
Right,
or
right.
to specialize.
Yeah, so you go wide before you go narrow.
Yeah, maybe you don't need to specialize so much, okay? Because right now on the market there are no so much player, okay? So it's
Hmm.
okay. You have some time. So I think so. Linear says that to don't want to go too fast, time to time, okay? But you want to take the time to do things well. And I think it's the same here. Do you need to rush? Maybe not. What is the more efficient? Always to the long-term thinking, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you are in the journey. I guess if you have enough value and you're delivering and the product is selling, you can go wider or you can go wider by choice. But yeah, makes sense. And so you've been advising startups and helping startups as a SaaS studio. What are some of the things that you think, and you know, you have a product background as well. What can be done to align GTM with the product roadmap? What are some of the pitfalls you are seeing SaaS companies make?
Um, it's a good question. I think you need to have an alignment beyond product and GTM. Something that happens a lot is that everything change, you have no milestone. No milestone, so everything is in continuous improvement. So on the product side, on GTM side. So everything change. So it's complex to know if it's you have an alignment. So it's complex because yeah. So I think it's one way to say it is try to reach a milestone like where you can do some experiment and launch your GTM and see what it is, okay? And
Right,
after that, correct thing, but only little thing, not change everything, because if you change everything, you need to retest and retest, etc. So it's more this way of milestone test, but you can accelerate, the pace, but you need at some time to be clear on, yeah, we are here, we want to test this, boom, experiment first. So it's more, my advice is more, we have a product, you have an EVP, you have everything. You normally are able to sell it. You will try your GTM as many experiment, and you will try to do it. And after that, if you didn't reach your target, maybe the product need to change. And you have you have things that's really okay and straightforward, but you need to change it. So you will do
right,
this first. But
right,
big thing, big bet is not the same way.
right.
So it's where we have, so you go, you do the experiment, and boom, maybe here you will have a bet to go where we go.
Yeah,
We have something maybe on the A, B, or C, but we need to pick a side and try and
right,
test.
right. And
So
and
yeah,
the
for
the the milestone point is probably where you realign, where you evaluate and realign.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So what is difficult, I think, it's to put this. So it's really depends. You can put this by time base. So it's more quarter base, etc. It's okay for big company.
Right,
It's more robust company. I think for startup, it's really depend. I think it need to be agile too. And it's what put some problem to it because as it agile, you miss it time to time. You will not do it because you are in the runway, of what you do.
mm-hmm.
So I think it's more, it's like baseball, with touch base. I think maybe it's what yeah, you need to say this is the next milestone,
Right.
okay? But we want to, it's like a foundation, like a base, okay? From where you will try all your experiment and get more data.
So
So
even
I
in
think
even in small teams, you've seen people have this kind of milestone based alignment, or
for me, because everybody is on their priority, their mindset, their vision. Nobody has the whole vision.
hmm,
And for this reason that documentation is important because documentation align everyone. It's a way of seeing things the same way from everyone. But if you don't have documentation, everybody tend to see only their side. Don't have a shared map, a shared knowledge of what is the reality right now. And so when you will judge, when you will take decision or propose action, propose pills, solution, etc., you will not have the complete vision and the good one. And you will maybe have some conflict because people don't see the same thing and don't propose the same solution.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's why it's so important to for the founding team to distill the vision as simply as possible. Yes, I mean obviously documentation is really important, but at the same time, I've seen
Yeah,
a lot of
have some.
founders or founding teams not have the vision distilled, and teams grow to, let's say, 15, 20 people, and people are chasing different things, like you said.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Documenting is a thing. So
Right.
documenting is help you to understand what is the reality right now, okay? But it doesn't help you to say where we want to go. So yeah, clearly for the vision, you need to have more, I think, rules and principle is better. You know, what you found normally in a manifesto. I think it's really cool to have this so clear thing on what you want in your product, what differentiates you from others, and what you will not do as others and not do at all in your product.
Yeah.
So is one of the first thing I do in SaaS starter for new
Hmm.
product is to define this with people, and people tend to with founders and founders tend to really don't like this game, but it's really a hard game, but it's where you
Right.
shine. Yeah, because you start to say, I will not be good for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to let go. Yeah, it's hard to let go for sure.
Yeah, it's really hard to let
Especially
go.
if especially in this day and age when you're seeing, like, you can't miss the competition. Even if you didn't want to focus on competition, you will take a peek, and it's a slippery slope. When you start focusing on the competition rather than the customer, yeah, I see what you mean, how you have a hard time. And so as you execute a GTM motion and in parallel continue building, I've seen a lot of features get tagged on, and it starts confusing users. One, new users getting onboarded have a hard time understanding what the product is. Two, the existing users have a hard time figuring things out on what's added versus how the changes impacted what they were already used to using. How do you, in your experience, what are some of the things that can be done to less confuse the users that you have already?
I see what you mean. It's a really good question. We have a tendency as product owner, product builders to want to add. We want to add more thing, yeah, you know.
That's work.
But the real game, I think, is more like Steve Jobs and Apple do does things. It's more to simplify. So it's more to remove. And it's where it's hard. It's really hard because you can't remove things without data and without feedback. So you
Hmm.
need to add things to be able to give some value to people, to have feedback, to be able to remove things in a
Hmm.
way, you know, at the beginning of the product for me. So the goal is not to add too much, because if you add too much, you will fall in the build trap pitfall, and you did many things. You do coffee, you do everything, you know, you do airport listening, etc., but you will please no one, so you don't want to go there. So it's really important, I think, to always take, you can add all your feedback, you know, in your software somewhere, you know, to analyze them.
Hmm.
But it's really important, I think, to prioritize well, and to prioritize is only what people wait and that I think want, you know, as a feature, right? If you don't have it, we will not use it.
Hmm.
Okay, so like for them, it's normal to have it. So if you don't have this level of feature, they will not use it. So it's basics for them. So I think this you can add, okay, because your market asks for it. So it's a blocker. So you
Right.
need to add feature that remove blocker.
Hmm.
And so this kind of, yeah, and all the other shining thing that can add more value can not add more value, but remove value, because when you add many things tend to be not clear at all and not crystal clear. You will complex the thing. So
Right.
value, when you add more value, value of the other fade. So it's really a complex thing, and I think to add an answer for this, the real game is what can I change that will not add things, but simplify things. You know,
Hmm.
add more value without adding more complexity.
Right. So not adding cognitive load, but adding value.
Exactly. Yeah, it's really adding value without adding brain power needs to understand and to use it. So the good question can be, and this in the spectrum of what is our customer experience, user experience to get value, okay, to value, and so to the AA moment, yeah, really point of value for the user, and
Hmm.
where are the blockers? What can we do on this step? So it's really product flow, and for this is what we do as Story2Doc. So we document our product flow. So the goal is really to do your flow, explode it in Miro, with each screen and every action, and
Hmm.
try to work on this. Try to work, okay, the people, we did qualitative tests, we did quantitative, and we see that people block here, here, and here. What can we do to simplify this, to remove friction, and maybe to automate totally this part?
Makes sense. Makes sense.
A lot of time we can automate, or we can just remove the part, maybe.
Yeah. 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 I personally went through that literally a few weeks ago, where in Jerry we had post onboarding, people had to add leads or a list of LinkedIn profiles, and one feedback was, why is the product useless without doing that step? And that made me really question whether that step is actually needed. Turned out I could skip that step completely by automatically pulling some profiles from their LinkedIn activity. So yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
We need to think harder
Yeah.
for the user to
Right.
say, can I remove it completely? Can I disrupt this step? It's more a question that we can ask. Can I disrupt totally the step? Or time to time, it's not a step, but a group of steps we can.
Yeah.
It's really simple and complex in a way, because one step you can, but a group you can
Yeah.
with another way. So you really need to say, hey, maybe this, maybe this, maybe this, and to ask yourself. And yeah, you have some good experience to try, because yeah,
Yeah.
the simpler the better.
And this is as simple as it sounds. It's so hard to do, and with
It's really hard.
all the momentum in moving towards agentic workflow, that's the step you have to do, right? You have to figure out how to completely do things without UI in an automated way. So that is pretty much taking what we just discussed to the next level. How can you get rid of a lot of UI, do stuff in the background, and then only when the user needs it or you need a user input, bother them with friction. So yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We can see things like that with agentic AI. I think with AI, it's more removing a lot of friction on the UI side, clearly, and a lot of the work is in the back.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Interesting. Nice. For how long have you been in closed beta with Story?
1 year now.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, since the Web Summit last year, we did the Web Summit where we met together.
Yeah.
And yeah, so 1 year we launched at the Web Summit of the last year. So it was really the beginning for us.
And so, even with the closed beta, you've had some interesting GTM that you've been executing. I clearly saw you on the conference floor dressed up as Aristotle. What are some of the other things you've done on customer acquisition, either for Story to Doc or even for when you were helping your customers from the SaaS studio that have
Yeah.
worked in the past and that people can use?
I think I will more speak about StoryTalk, because for the SaaS studio, we don't help so much on the GTM.
Right.
But yeah, for StoryTalk, we only did for our GTM of the last year, clearly
Mm-hmm.
was only events. Only
Hmm.
events. And so why? Because events is a good way to pitch many people really fast. So we used events as milestone to be ready, okay, to test the product and test the UVP2, and to show them stuff, okay. And we use event as a social goal and social base to touch, with
Hmm.
something real that we can show. So it was a motivational tool for us too. I think for all events, We did pretty good numbers. We did many booking, many demo. So we learned
Cool.
a lot on demo, and I did many demo.
Hmm.
And yeah, so it's cool to book people. At the end, we book people 2 months in the future because we booked too much. It was good because we have many demo, but it was bad because 2 months in the future, people drop. We will not remember, yeah, what it is, etc. You will have more cancel. It's normal. You will have
Yeah.
more reschedule because it's too long. Event as these kind of limits because or you need to be many more. But I really want to be the only guy as a founder, to get all the knowledge and all the feedback in my brain. So for this reason, for me, it was really important to speak with everyone
Right.
to be in a better position to move in the good direction.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's definitely good to talk to as many people early on as a founding team or a founder, because then you have the full context, right? It's not secondhand information. And
Exactly.
so, I mean, from a GTM point of view, yes, you went to events, but I thought we spoke about also you had an interesting swag. So you had an interesting outfit,
Mhm.
which was clearly different from the entire floor. And I've seen interesting outfits, or different outfits rather. Uh, people wear orange or lime green, but there is no story to it. So it was refreshing to see uh, you with a book as Aristotle. But you also had a swag. Do you want to talk a little bit about the swag and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
what
you're right.
what it was?
Just to add some value on this is the first time, so the first Web Summit, we were at Web Summit with, t-shirt with that you have the tips on this. So everybody that have a t-shirt for their startup put their startup name on the t-shirt. It's
Right.
it's it's not good because nobody knows you. So why do you put your logo? What do you put your name? You
You're
don't
not
need to
Google.
put your name. Yeah, put what you do, what's the value. So for us, it was user documentation automated. And we put only that. And people see the three keywords and say, yeah, I want to speak to you. Okay, but we didn't have story to doc, as big. It was really little, at the back. But in front, it was really what we do and what can we give as value in 3 words. So this works, okay, fine, but not as good as what I saw at Web Summit. So we have a French startup named Grizzly, okay, and so it has a good name and Grizzly, and one of the founder has really a grizzly hat, okay, a grizzly skin, on him, like
Yeah.
a big grizzly. So yeah, he did really good performance. And when I saw this, I said, yeah, we need to do in one way the same for the next Web Summit. Because
Got it.
Web Summit, you have so many people. I think so 100,000 people kind of thing. You have so many people that if you have a t-shirt with your logo on it, it's like, yeah, like everyone.
Yeah.
So you are not the red, black one or red one. You are like white, like everyone else. And so for this reason, I say, okay, I need to find a character, and I need to find a character is what you loved about it, that it's aligned with the value.
Hmm.
So for us, it's documentation, it's knowledge,
Right.
and I have the air, I have the thing that it's okay to be Aristotle, okay? A lot of people told me you are Jesus. No, 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 Aristotle, Aristotle. But yeah, and so with the book, it was really cool because we have a connection. You have a icebreaker, a hook that permit to pass from the character to the value. If you don't
Hmm.
have this, it can be done with the name of for Grizzly example, is was done only by the name of the company, of the startup. But if it's not the case, for us, it's story to doc, it's not Aristotle, okay? You can do it, but you need to be aligned on the value, I think. So it's the first thing for the character thing. But yeah, I think everybody need or can duplicate it. Another thing that we did as swag, so was more stickers, so it's really easy. You know what it is, stickers. I think one was cool is this one because everybody, when I talk to them and explain the pitch, okay, they say at one point, hey, but yeah, man, it's magic. They don't trust it at some point. They like, it's magic. And
Right.
I have so this in my pocket, and I say, yeah. It's magic. And when they told me it's magic, I said, yeah, you're right. It's why we did these stickers, and it works really well. And this is the first thing. And the second thing is I want to have a swag that people will have on their workstation. They will
Hmm.
keep, So
Yeah.
yeah, you have mugs. I love mugs for this
Yeah.
reason, but it's really big, you don't want when you are in travel, it's not easy to transport. And you have this because I'm French, so love wine, okay, and I love beer too.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool to have something, you know, just to put your drink on it.
It's like a coaster. Yeah. And so yeah,
Yeah, you
you
see?
you I think you said you went to side events and then put the coasters on the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have to
That was a good
at
one.
the end of the event, people want to chill, to enjoy, and I always have with my associate co-founder at the event this in my pocket, and everywhere we talk with someone, say, "Hey, for you," and it's like a good icebreaker and hook to speak about. And we say nothing, but everybody say, "Ah, okay, okay. What is story to talk?" So yeah, it really works well this,
Yeah.
and it works so well that just to say at SaaS Talk, they
Yeah.
did the same thing. They did the same thing, SaaStock organizer, SaaS Talk owner. So when I saw that SaaS Talk does it, I say, oh, yeah, we did well.
We've covered a lot. I think it's time for rapid fire, simple questions. One thing you wish you knew before starting or pivoting from SaaS studio to a startup. What do you wish you knew before before now, I guess.
What I want, yeah, I think maybe how much value can be a community of it at the beginning.
Hmm.
So we decide to launch without a community, but I
Hmm.
think it's really great to have an audience before. So to
Right.
have a minimum viable audience before the product is always better than need to create it, in the same process of creating the product. It's okay, and you can do it, even if you have, it's easier if you have a freemium, because the freemium of your product can create your community and your audience.
Right.
But yeah, I think maybe I will take more time to have a bigger audience before starting.
Makes sense. I think a lot of people are doing that now. Uh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Favorite book as a SaaS founder, or that you would recommend to SaaS founders?
Yeah, I have many, many books to recommend. I can pick one here, but I think I love Latka magazine, and I love, yeah, I think Transform. I mean,
Um,
two of them that I love a lot. Transform by Magic Again is really cool, but it's not really easy to put in place. But yeah, it's really cool. And you have Extreme Ownership too. It's really cool. Really a good
oh
one
yeah,
on
I've read
leadership.
this. Yeah, this one is good. Yeah, everything is your
Yeah, it's
fault
good.
as a founder.
So
That's a
this
good
these
one.
two, but I have many I love to read, so I read one book every 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think reading is one habit. Yeah, I definitely cultivated after becoming a entrepreneur, but and I wish I did it way before. But yeah, I think so essential. Yeah. Yeah. Worst advice you've received?
Get a lot of money and your product will work.
Who in the right mind said that to you? One founder everyone should follow.
Nathan Latka, I think.
Oh, Ethan Latka.
Yeah, he's really good example. He did many business. Yeah, I think, yeah, he did many things the good way. And he's really cool and really good content. I think he's a really great guy to follow. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that was it. Right. So those were the questions. Where can people reach you? And if people are interested in signing up for Story to Doc closed beta, is that open? And where can people sign up for that?
Yeah, so it's really easy. You go on the website and you can sign up for the early access. So you can just only put your email and we will send you an email when it's open.
Awesome. I'll add that.
Another thing is you can contact me. It's really, I have some company that contact me really because they said, yeah, I need a new documentation now. And so for this, if you are really in this huge need, contact me on LinkedIn.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me on the podcast, and it was a pleasure having you.
Thank you. Thank you, Visesh, for having me and see you another time.
See you another time. All
Yeah,
right.
in Doc we
Bye.
trust.
In doc we trust. That's a good one.
Yeah, Aristotle.